Kingscreek is a horror podcast, and thus the content in this episode may not be suitable for all audiences. Listener discretion is advised.
You are now entering Kingscreek. Episode 20, Familial Bond.
I want to talk about Uncle Mark for a little bit. When I was little, I only got to see him around birthdays, holidays, and the occasional visit. He was not a huge presence in my life by sheer numbers, but he still made an impression. He didn't talk much. He was always the type to stand in the corner at whatever family event, quietly chewing on hors d'oeuvres. My dad used to joke and say that he didn't talk at all, but I knew that wasn't true because he talked to me. I was very little, so I don't think our conversations were very deep. And to be fair, they were mostly me. I would toddle over to his feet, plop myself down, and start babbling about Transformers or Power Rangers or whatever. And he would listen. Attentively, too. Not in that way that most adults do when you're a kid, where they're pretending to pay attention and they think you won't notice. Sometimes he'd ask me questions. Real, earnest questions about whatever it was I was interested in, even if it was something that he must not have given a rat's ass about. But because he listened, he made me feel, I don't know, is important the right word? Understood? Whatever it was, I never forgot that feeling. He also told me stories. Weird ghost stories and monster stories that freaked me out, but I never felt genuine fear at. I think a part of me knew that he was just telling me about what he was interested in, and after he listened to me, really listened, I was usually in the mood to hear more. It was strange. I could never read him, understand him emotionally, but I guess, somehow, those stories made me feel like he cared. I looked forward to seeing him whenever it was my birthday or Christmas or whatever. When my parents were gift shopping, they'd just ask me what I wanted. They'd make me write down a list of things I wanted for Christmas, and whatever was on that list is what I'd get. They were pretty well off, you see, and I was the only child, so I would always get the most expensive thing on my list, and then some. It got to the point where I'd write down ridiculous stuff, like a little fully motorized car or a nearly $500 playset of figures, not because I wanted it, but just because I wanted to see how far they'd go. And they'd always get it, no matter what. They'd never really watched me play with them, so it's not like they noticed when I give those gifts to my friends who actually wanted them. Meanwhile, Uncle Mark never asked me what I wanted. He'd get me weird stuff. Old fossils, ant farms, field journal kits. When I learned to read, he'd give me books about cryptozoology, botany, collections of old urban myths. It was all stuff I'd never even seen before, stuff that I never would have even found if not for him. It wasn't all my speed, but it was still something, you know? I got to know him a little. It wasn't anything huge, but I don't know, it was cool. Around the time I turned 13, though, he started to disappear a little. His visits became much more sporadic, like he was busy with something. I couldn't help but feel a bit hurt at this, which is weird, right? He was my uncle, not my dad, and I guess I had my own parents to talk to, but I never really felt that level of connection with them the way I did with him. For For all the academic help they gave me, pushing me into various extracurriculars, hiring tutors when my grades slipped, etc., there wasn't a ton else there. I still love them, I guess, but there's a reason I'm not living with them right now. I think when I was 16, I had settled into being mad at him. I don't know, I think that I learned that he was studying the paranormal and got it in my head that he cared more about his ghost stories than he did me. I lost interest in the books and stuff he'd given me, the fossils and everything. I kind of went through an angry skeptic phase, if you can believe it. Which, actually, based on how I've been acting the last few days, is probably totally believable. After Uncle Mark stopped showing up, I think I kind of went on autopilot, education-wise. Maybe that's dramatic. It's not like I stopped learning at all, but I never really felt that drive. I just got bored. When I graduated high school, I kind of just slid into college without really knowing what I was doing. I spent my first 2 years at UW in a blur, just taking the path of least resistance. Which isn't to say I was a depressed mess or anything. I had a social life and I cared about stuff. Relationships, hobbies, a whole bunch of things. Just not school. Not learning. In 2006, when I was 20, I was just reaching the point where I had to decide on a major. I don't know if you've been following the pattern, but would it surprise you to know I didn't know what I wanted to do? I had kind of been drifting, going with the flow. This was the first real choice I had to make, and I was stumped. But before I was due to make the decision, I got a call from Uncle Mark. I was in shock, to say the least. It was like a childhood memory had reached out and slapped me in the face. He told me that he wanted to meet with me. No, actually, I think the exact words he used were, he needed to see me. Said he had something really important he had to talk to me about. Something that he couldn't do in person. I remember vividly how he sounded on the phone. Desperate. Nervous. I could almost hear the twitch in his voice. I didn't know what to say. I could feel so much resentment, so much more than I thought I had, boiling to the surface, but so did years of those memories of us talking, of him listening to me. The resentment melted away at the prospect of seeing him again, of talking, of really talking to Uncle Mark. I just wanted to see him again. So, I agreed. I made plans to go out that weekend, to take a bus out to Kingscreek. The week had just started, so I knew the wait would be a few days, but I didn't care. I was so looking forward to reconnecting. It made me almost giddy at the thought. It didn't last long, though, because he called me on Sunday, October 8th, 2006. And on Tuesday, October 10th, well, you know. The weird thing is, his death never really hit me in the way I've heard it's supposed to. I never felt that pain in my chest or like breaking down in tears or whatever, which is weird, right? I was so excited at the prospect of seeing him again, but when he died, I just felt disappointed. Like it was a loose end that had gone unresolved. Maybe something's wrong with me, but I don't know. I don't know why I decided to come here. To live here in Kingscreek, I mean. Maybe I knew that there was something wrong? A stroke seems like a perfectly reasonable and sudden way for someone to die, but it still felt off. And now, knowing what I know, I can't deny it anymore. I saw that thing in the rain. I saw Crimson Apothecaries appear out of nowhere and then disappear just the same way. I've been turning it over and over in my head, and there's just no other way to accept it. These creatures, the supernatural, it's real. Does that mean that everything in these files, all these stories I've read, are they all true? Honestly, I don't know, which is driving me crazy. Would it be better if some of them were fake, or would it be simpler if it was just all true? I don't think I can answer that. Right now, I need to focus on the core mystery, the main thread I'm connected to. Whatever the hell happened to Uncle Mark, because this is how it stands as of right now. Uncle Mark is dead. He died of what seems to have been a stroke, we know this, and so far there's nothing that contradicts that. I thought that maybe Sal was behind it, but he said he wasn't, and for all that guy's many, many faults, I don't think he's a liar. So, that leaves us back at square one. Well, not exactly, I guess. Sal said that he knew about Uncle Mark, just like how he knew about me, but he didn't meet either of us before today. If he knows, does that mean that other things knew about Mark too? In the Crimson tape, he said that he was getting bad headaches. That could be hinting at an incoming stroke, but it could also be something else. Sal might not have been the one that killed him, but at this point, I'm not sure he was the only one who had business in Kingscreek. Maybe Uncle Mark, in the effort of investigating, got too close to something he wasn't supposed to? Now that I think about it, he did say he was working on another case in the tape, so maybe that's something. I don't know. I feel like I'm way out of my depth here. I just wanted to start a memorial podcast for my dead uncle, and in just a couple weeks it spiraled into this whole disaster. Today alone felt like a month, and I don't have anything to show for it. I'm just left with more and more questions. I wish Sarah was here. She's not all bad, I guess. A bit quirky, but she seems to have a good head on her shoulders. And she's way better at this stuff than I am. I tried to beep her pager what felt like 100 times, but I haven't gotten a response. I don't know if that's because she's still stuck, or because she... I don't know. I hope she's okay. I don't know what I could do, or even where to begin looking for her. She seems like she can handle herself, but... I can't think about that. There's a lot of stuff to deal with, but nothing I can do just now. It'd probably be best if I just...
Get some rest. Looks like you're going to need it.
Who's there? Show yourself. Okay. I'm definitely dealing with exhaustion or something. All this talk of monsters and boogeymen has got me jumping at shadows. I think I've just had a long day. I should go. This is Damien Bachman signing off. Alright, and that should be good, I guess. How do I turn this thing off?
Hello, Damien.
Oh, hey there, my aunt. I was just finishing up a recording for the podcast for Uncle Mark.
Good. I was at the store.
You were at the store.
Good. Yes, I was. Stocking up on supplies.
You were stocking up on supplies.
Yes. And I look tired. I am still grieving your uncle in my own way.
You look tired, and you're still grieving Uncle Mark in your own way.
Excellent. That should cover us for the next week. Have a good day, Damien.
Bye, my aunt. Crap, the audio's still recording.
This season of Kingscreek was written and edited by Thomas S. Dennis. It was produced by James Makepeace, and the score was composed by Kai After Kai. Script supervision is provided by James Makepeace and Ryan Kennedy. Our cover art is by CyberGrapeUK, and our social media manager is Ryan Kennedy. It featured Thomas S. Dennis as Damien Bachman, Dharma Torres Aguilar as Sarah Hickman, Gus Marceau as Mark Bachman, Connor McDowell as Old Red Sal, Teddy Leitner as Cameron Reed, Sidney King as Rory Black, Daniel Goldhorn as Bill Collins, and Ash Beard as the Arn. All episodes are a production of Tracer Magnum Entertainment. If you'd like to support the show, rate and review us on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Castbox, or whatever service you use to listen to our show. It helps tremendously and ensures we're seen by more and more of the unsuspecting public. If you'd like to get in touch with us or become involved with the community, join our Discord server, post on the r/Kingscreek subreddit, or follow us on Blue Sky, Instagram, TikTok, and Tumblr, all under the handle @KingscreekOfficial. Share with your friends, family, or anyone else you want to ensnare in our web. And above all else, thank you for listening.